I'm Conor Northrup. I'm joined by UFC Lightweight Khama Worthy, who is scheduled to take on Ottman Azaitar at UFC September 5th event. What's going on, Khama? How you doing?
Good, man. Feeling good. Finishing up camp. Ready for fight.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad I finally get to talk to you because like I was telling you before we started recording, I talked to John DeJesus, I talked to Nick Brown. Your name comes up a lot, when you're talking to those guys.
Yeah, man. Those are my those are some of my main training partners. John and Nick. Anytime I get a fight, I need Nick. I'll call him up, or he has a fight, he'll come up and get work. Cause we live about an hour and 30 minutes, hour away from each other. But when we have fights coming up, we try to get in with each other and get work.
Yeah. I know both those guys too are two guys you kind of name dropped after beating Luis Pena too. What's going on? Why can't we get these guys in the UFC?
I don't know, man. Like John got the Bellator, which is good. Nick Brown, he just had a fight for LFA, which is good too. But I'm like, screw that. I'm like, let's get them on a contender series. You know what I mean? Give them they're definitely big show fighters. So I'm like, John is in Bellator. I don't know if he got re-signed to another contract or not. So I was pushing for that. But Nick Brown definitely should be in the UFC, or at least. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys on the contender series this year, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like Nick would like work the hell out of like all of 55ers. So I don't know. We gotta keep pushing for it.
Yeah. It's been kind of crazy with Contender Series too, because I think it's been like 12 contracts in I guess 3 weeks since it's been back. So I mean, they've been handing them out like candy. It's like Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, like, and Nick Brown's last fight was a beautiful fight too. So I'm like, I know if he went on to the contender side, I think he'd be ready, and John as well. So like I said, I don't know what his thing is with the contract with Bellator. So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep trying to push my boys, because the more we get there, it's better for us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because John was already like calling guys out after winning that fight. I saw the press
Yeah.
conference. So I have a feeling he might stick around maybe.
Yeah, he was supposed to. He got offered to fight him, and the guy turned the fight down. Then John got another fight in 2 weeks, and he won that one. So he would like that fight back. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with that. That's a good fight.
Yeah. I know your younger brother was also supposed to be on that Bellator card again. I think he's fighting Mike Kimball. When might we see him again?
Hopefully soon. Like he actually I just finished up training with my head coach Dave. He was actually in the other room getting some training now, so he's still training. It's like hard for the guys on the regional scene now. Like he only has like 5 pro fights, so like he's like you're still like you're just waiting. Like whenever they give you a call, you just jump on it and take it from there.
Yeah. One thing I was like talking to John and Nick about too that I kind of want to bring up to you is like they talked a lot about, cause especially John, because he came from American Top Team, so he knows what it's like working like at a big gym too. But just like the smaller gym too, like what's the benefit that maybe you guys have that maybe some of these bigger gyms like don't?
Like really solid one-on-one training with your coaches. And like, the fight team might have like 6 or 7 people to it, you know what I mean? Like we have like I think we have 5 pros at my gym, and Nick Brown has like 3 pros or 2 pros at his gym, and the Map Factory has like 3 or 4 pros at their gym. So it's not like a whole bunch of pros. Like we go down to Stouts and there's like 2 pros down there. So it's not like, because of that, you get the bit specific attention from the coaches into the player. I know with me, like for me, like when it comes to fighting, the devil's in the details. And I know if I went to a big gym, I would have to hog the coach up. And they couldn't do that. I would have to hog the coach up. I'm like, nah, I need him here. I need him here. I need him for this. And like, you can't do that with big gyms. I mean, like, I know Henry Hoof is all over the fucking place. Duke Rufus is all over the place. Like, that doesn't mean that those people don't get good coaching, but they're not getting coaching by the guy who's supposed to be in charge. Then that guy comes and he's your cornerman. So I mean, that all takes into what happens and stuff like that. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And what'd you kind of take too? I mean, we talked about a little bit, I think, like kind of off the air, but with John's fight too, I mean, like I was saying to you, I feel like he kind of almost followed the game plan to a T.
yeah, I mean, like, again, like we have our head coach, the head MMA coach Dave Sachs. He's trained all over. He's trained at American Top Team. He trained at a big gym out in Chicago, so he knows how big gyms operate, and he's really good. He's a phenomenal wrestler. He's been MMA. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He's been doing MMA for 16 years, so he knows how to like game plan and pull out things and do things and like make things specific for the fighter and stuff. So he came with a good game plan. We like the game plan, and then like Chris will like adjust our striking accordingly to our opponent. And then I have a head coach, my kickboxing coach. He kind of like puts into play the whole game plan for my fight, and it like combines with Sax's doing and stuff. So, and then we feed off each other. Like I'll take stuff from John will take stuff from me. Like we'll feed off stuff, work on for a fight and stuff like that, and take it from there.
Yeah. And just going into your career a little bit too, I mean, you look at your, just kind of your start in the UFC too, and I mean, what a run it's been so far. I mean, you kind of derailed that Devontae Smith hype train, submitted Luis Pena in your last fight, now taking on an undefeated fighter. Just based off those, first 2 Octagon appearances too. I mean, this one has to be kind of in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think anything's guaranteed, but like I said, I think I'm battle tested. You know what I mean? Like I think I've been. I don't think Ottman's been battle tested yet. Like he's. I think he's good to his nickname. He's the bulldozer. You know what I mean? Like he runs through shit. But like what happens when the bulldozer meets a wall that he can't run through? And I don't think he's met with that yet. And I look forward to giving him his first, getting rid of that O and give him that loss.
Yeah. What happens to Bulldozer when he meets the Death Star? I guess that's what we'll find out.
Not a fair fight.
And, in your post-fight interview last time, too, I remember you said that, these guys always like to strike with you. And just looking at his record, he's a guy that likes to stand. He's a guy who strikes, Are you kind of like looking at your chops in this one or no?
He's not going to stand with me. There's no way around it. Like he said that. Luis Pena said the same thing. He was like, yeah, I'm going to get in the middle. His name is Luis Pena's name is Violent Bob Ross. Like most guys are trying to always take him down, all right? And he's like, this guy's not going. If he decides to stand with me, he's going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
So it's going to be your choice. Like I mean, I get knockouts from people are trying to punch me or when they're trying to hit me down. It doesn't matter. So I mean, I'm not looking for a knockout. I'm not looking for, but I know for sure he's not going to stand with me. His corner is like he's going to be all right. It's probably time I try to get this fight to the ground.
Yeah. So if that's the case too, what do you kind of make of his ground game? What have you seen?
It's decent. Like he trains. I mean, he trains a little bit with Khabibs. So I know he has good wrestling. His camp, they have good anti-wrestling, good grappling and stuff like that. But like when you're wrestling because you don't like the striking, it's a completely different feeling. When you're pulling guillotines because you can't stop the takedown, it's a completely different feeling. When you're like shooting for takedowns because you don't like getting punched in the face, it's different. So everything changes once you add. Like, you're like, oh, okay, he has good grappling. Well, that's because if he's like looking to grapple on purpose, but like if you're not looking to grapple on purpose, you're grappling because it's your second resort. Like I specialize in stopping people from grappling and punching them in the face. We'll have to see.
Yeah. And, say all goes well, too, in that fight. Where's the win kind of Ottman? Where do you think that puts you?
Definitely puts me in a good place. Like I have a plan, a sort of a plan, like of how I want things to go, but I don't like to overlook when I have the task at hand. I like to give it 18 minutes of pure focus for the fight. So I don't like to overthink and think about too much in the future. I was just literally talking with my coach about that. Like, you don't want to think like, oh, once I win this fight, I need to do this one. I just deal with the task at hand, and like that's why I like fight week, because no matter how much you like to deal with other shit, when it's fight week, you can't deal with anything else but the fight. So I try to like deal with it that way. But I mean, like I think it just it just keeps growing on what I'm building. So
yeah. What's it been like too? Because obviously this has been 2020 has been so crazy with everything going on, and I know like with the gym and everything for you, but also just being like pretty active too in the cage. Like, what has this kind of been like the last 2-3 months for you?
Oh, it's crazy, man. Like we have 3 kids. We're trying to get them back to school, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Our kids going back to school. They're going a half a day doing this. I'm trying to run the gym. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to run the gym proper, post-apocalyptic. All of that has to go into play. I mean, there's just so much. And at the same time, I'm like, oh, you have to train. You have to be selfish. You have to do this. And so I really haven't had like a time to like, I haven't had a break. Like this whole year I was preparing for Ottman. Man, I started preparing for him in like late January, because that's when I was told the fight was happening. And then like we prepare, we push, then boom, all this stuff happens. Then so I've just been on like one stage to the next for the past 7 months now.
Yeah. And obviously you got that fight with Luis Pena, but did you, like, because you were already scheduled to fight him at one point, did you always feel like that fight would come about again?
The Ottman fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told my manager that I wanted it, and he was like, "Well, let's see what happens with Pena." You know what I mean? And it was a good showing. I looked good. It was an entertaining fight. Like
Sure.
and I still want that fight, so they gave me the fight again. So that's cool. I mean, I was glad to see that he still wanted it. I mean, I figured. I mean, like I said, he seems like he's a fighter, so he comes to fight. So I think he would want to like actually like challenge and see how he does with it.
For sure. What do you kind of like make? Cause like I know you kind of talked about Omni before too, but just like as far as like his journey so far, like what do you analyze from that? Anything?
Comfortable. It's comfortable. Like his fights are, they're comfortable. I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just seems like he's always the A side in his fights. He's never been the B side. Like even when he fought in Abu Dhabi, his first UFC fight was in Abu Dhabi. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy, and he fought like what was that guy's name? I don't know. I mean, like the guy hadn't fought in 2 years, and he had only
Timu, yeah.
yeah, and he had only won one fight. He had been knocked out by the bone crusher in 10 seconds. And then he won one fight and knocked out again. So I mean, like that was a good fight for him. That's a comfortable fight, and that guy fought horrible. Like, good God, the guy was 6'3" and didn't throw one straight jab. Like the guy fought goofy as hell. But I mean, like he takes advantage of things given to him, which is good. Like I'm not hating on him. I'm like shoot, but he just had the right. Everything's been like kind of given to him at the right time. I'm gonna do the complete opposite. Everything's gonna be the wrong way. We're gonna have to see if he likes to operate with everything being the wrong way.
Yeah, for sure. And then one of my last questions too is just a lot of guys I've kind of been bringing this up too, but like during obviously now things are getting more back to normal, things like that. But like during the quarantine, anything like that. Obviously you're a busy guy, like you said, but were you able to pick up any hobbies, anything like that?
Nah, I got no fucking hobbies. Fucking kid running around the fucking house. Ain't no hobbies. No, I mean I watch TV and stuff. Like that's what I got. Like I just started Love Cross Country. I just started that on HBO. That's really good. I've been watching Shy that's coming to the end, Nosferatu. I mean, there's a couple of different stuff. So I'm a big TV guy. Like I can't find that energy and attention to play video games and hobbies and stuff. I'm like, I wake up and I'm leaving like 9 o'clock in the morning. I usually get back at like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. That's usually I'm in and out the house of the day, but that's usually my day. So I don't really have kind of like
Yeah,
hobby.
for sure. And what'd you kind of make of that the HBO show too? I forget what it's called, the country one, but that just came out too, like last week. That just premiered, right?
It's phenomenal. I mean, HBO's been putting out. I used not to like HBO shows too much, but I used to not give them a chance, and I really started to like give. They did The Outsider, which was really good. Like really,
I still have to watch that.
yeah. Then they did Watchmen, which was really good, and then there was Divorce, which was really, there's a lot, and there's a lot of different type of TV. And I like the way they direct them. I like the storyline. I like the approach,
Yeah.
the soundtrack, everything. So HBO's been hitting pretty good because for a minute there, FX had all the good shows. Like I was watching Legion, and there was a couple other stuff that FX had that was really, really good. But HBO's been hitting some good ones lately.
Yeah. Were you a Game of Thrones guy? Because that's HBO.
I made fun of Game of Thrones people. All of my friends watch Game of Thrones. Like, you nerds. I'm like, you guys played Dungeons and Dragons when you were younger. Now you're watching Game of Thrones. It's like it's alive. Like I tried to get into it. I think I watched one season, and it was just too much going on. I was just like, there's too much going on. I can't figure out who the hell ever. It's like it was too much for me. I watched it. What I did was just to piss people off. I watched the last episode, and then would talk to people about it. I mean, but then like everyone was all mad because how she switched up. She switched over getting towards the last episode, the chick with the dragons or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, see, the show's not that good. But that's how all shows get to. Like I'm a really big Power fan. I was really big into Power, and then the ending was the worst. Like my last UFC fight, I actually put a thing out to 50 Cent. I didn't see that interview yet, so I'm gonna have to do it on like one of the bigger interviews now, so I can get a response because he keeps trying to make these spinoff shows and they're stupid. I'm like, if Fast and Furious can bring back like 80 characters, then so you can use. So I want to bring the show back. So I mean, I get it. Like I get how people like get caught up in the characters in the show, and then it gets to the end of the show and it's like real dumb. And you just look at the writers like, who the hell are y'all thinking?
Yeah.
Like, that's what all of my friends that watch Game of Thrones, they were like, that was the complete opposite of how she was the whole series, and then like 2 episodes left, she changes it because that was kind of different. I'm like,
yeah.
I get it.
That was like the Lost too. Like I remember that was like the same reaction with Lost. Everybody was like, they thought they knew what was gonna happen. Producers are like, no, and then that's exactly what happened.
I like the Lost ending. Like I got in the Lost series late, and I think on the 5th season, and then I watched it for the rest. But I like the ending of Lost. It wasn't your typical what you thought it was ending, and I like that. I liked it. Like the whole thing was just to teach them how to deal with death and how to deal with loss in general. I like that. I mean, like it's a thinker type of thing. Like Lost. Like this, is how much I'm into TV. Lost changed the way that people watch television shows, because television shows used to go episode to episode to episode to episode. But after Lost, they started doing those series, like shows started doing like where you would have to play out the whole season, and then the next season will have episodes that had nothing to do with that, but we had to jump back to the first season. Like Lost, you watch Lost, you get to the second season, and then there would be a show that had nothing to do with anything that's going on. It had something to do with the first season or something. Like that, it changed the way they were like the format that you laid out for TV shows. A lot of people don't know about Lost, but Lost is like groundbreaking in how the cliffhangers, how they would add stuff on, and how they played storylines out. Like it's an amazing show.
Yeah. One last TV show too. Did you ever see True Detective? Because the first season of that show was unreal.
Yes, I just watched the second one with the guy who had the bad memory. Right? That's
yeah.
That one was twisted as hell. Jesus, I'm sitting there like, oh my God, like that show was jacked up, man. Like that was good. And then I watched Sharp Objects. That's on HBO. That was really creepy as well. So I have all those shows to be coming back around, hopefully right about now. So I'm looking forward to like getting those back on, like take my mind off of Friday when I'm watching them.
Yeah, I don't read much, but Sharp Objects, I actually read that book, and that was good. I read it before the show actually came out, so I knew a lot of stuff that was going to happen, but the show kind of like lived up to it, I thought.
I hadn't heard of the book, and then I started watching the show, and it was just one of those shows where you'd have to like watch. Me and my girl would watch it. We'd have to like watch freaking I don't know, like a cartoon or something, like turn on Family Guy or some shit afterward. That show was disturbing, man. It was very disturbing. Especially
the ending. Yeah, the ending is wild.
Just like, man, like this is twisted. It's pretty out there. Some wild stuff.
Yeah. All right, Khama. I mean, before I let you go too, anything else that maybe you want to touch on? The floor is yours.
Man, I want to say thank you all the fans. Make sure you join in next week, September 5th. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, the Death Star _1. Don't say stupid shit, because I say stupid shit back.
All right, Khama. Thanks for the time, and I wish you the best.
Thanks, man. You too, brother.